Hi, how are you? This is a video on transitional words. So I did notice in some of the essays that I've read so far that there's a lack of transitional words or phrases. Those are important because they basically add a nice flow to the paper. It's connecting main points to each other. It's helping relate the relationships of your your first point to your second point, for example, or your second point to your third point. Um, it shows you where you've been if you're using chronological transitional words. It's also giving you signals that you're going to, if you use words like however, right? Showing that you're going to go into a contrast. If you use words for addition, it shows that you're going to add something to this point, and it just makes it a nice, smooth way. So basically, they guide the audience, who are your readers, in the progression from one significant idea or concept or point to the next one. And if you do that, it's nice. I might have written jumpy out of transition and makes your paper easier to read. Now, first we have I'm not going to read each of these for you. I'm just going to describe each category, and you will have this list for your reference. So I'm just moving down to show you that these are the categories of transitional words. There's actually quite a lot and quite a lot of lists. I wanted to keep it simple. You can, of course, go to, I would recommend OWL. I would recommend the real, what's that? Oh, I'll put it at the end of the video. That has other types of lists of transitional words or more specific transitional words. But if you want to get more advanced than this, but these are the basics. So you have sequence transitional words. This is very easy. First, second, third. Okay. But it's different than time. This one is like a hierarchy. What's most important, right? What's coming next? Okay. Time is different. Time is just what order this chronological aspects of your order. Okay, first, second, third. First, I'm going to tell you about this. Second, I'm going to tell you about this. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Time is chronological before, earlier, immediately. So you're referring back to what you were talking about. Sorry, this makes sense to it. Let me be clear one more time. Sorry. Sequence is first, second, third, furthermore, last, etc. Showing a hierarchy of order. Time is more like before in the paper I mentioned, early in the paper I mentioned, etc. So these ones are focusing on the chronological aspects of your order. They're particularly useful in analyzing a story because this shows the audience the progression of time, how time is going on. Addition, everyone knows this one, and most people get these just fine. All these words just show they're going to add something. What are you doing? Just another about the previous point. Similarity, it draws a parallel between two ideas. Okay, so again, it's basically addition, but it's being specific because it's telling you these are similar. It's just like, and this is also about these and comparison and contrast. They are also addition. There's just comparison is just drawing a distinction between the two ideas, concept, or examples. And a transition by contrast, it shows a distinction of difference, opposition, right? Or irregularity. Okay, so cause and effect is different because this illustrates a relationship between two ideas, concepts, or examples, right? And the thing about, we haven't done a cause and effect paper yet, but a cause and effect paper, you can focus on the causes and the effect, or you can focus on one cause and all these different effects. So it's up to you what you decide to focus on. But these words help. Okay, so all those words help clarify, make your paper smoother and more coherent. Examples, this is nice. You guys are good at this one. But you understand. It's just illustrating a connection between a point and example. And you guys actually, this one, you're good at. Place, a place transition refers to a location, often spatially organized essay, right? Of one point of emphasis to the other. So we're not doing a spatially organized essay particularly, but if we're getting into poetry that's all presenting along those lines about um, spatial organization, you may need to use that. And those are the words, right? If it's like, for example, it's a poem with actually on the paper where it where's the location of the word, something like that. All right, the next one, concession. This one is really important. And so I'm actually going to read all these. It's the only one I'm going to read. But what does it mean? It says indicates knowledge of contrary information. Now, remember, you should address the opposition in your paper, usually the second paragraph or third paragraph, if you, I'm sorry, second body paragraph or third body paragraph, depending on how long your paper is. So a concession transition includes knowledge of contrary information because this makes your argument stronger. You're not just ignoring that other people might say something different, you're addressing it, and this is really good because remember, you put yourself, you follow the Rogerian argument of putting yourself in that other person's shoes. That just means it is a cliche, isn't it? But what that means is that you put yourself in their position and what they believe, right? And you honor it as if they really believe this, but you show that although it is true that, so you give them a little bit of, although it is true that these people want better, they're not focused on the overall picture, something like that. Granted that X, Y, and Z, actually, this isn't correct because while it may appear that they are correct when people think this, they are misguided, they are misunderstanding, they are misconstruing, right? That type of thing. And then naturally, of course, I can see that. And then this one, it's interesting because what do we do? We keep telling you don't use I admit, I admit, I admit. Don't use I, right? Don't use pronouns. But this is an example of concession. I admit that while blah 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 blah. So this one's effective. But again, goes against the rule of having a pronoun. This too. Don't use I can see that. Just add instead to fix the pronoun problem, say one can see that. I still don't like that. One can admit, right, that while X, Y, and Z, this, or one can admit that X is true, that doesn't outweigh the value of my argument and my persuasion. Okay, so that's transitions. Make sure you have transitions in your essays. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.